unsubscribing for now, because the channel's flavor is not that which was my initial reason for joining. NoFap motivation. I dislike the continuous slew of self-help practice exploration. It's just annoying and a little cheap as a way to draw audience and content I don't want to see. Farewell for now, sir.
Shit! We're doing this. We're talking dicks. For today's video, I simply want to go over 3 changes, 3 benefits that I felt were truly life-changing, truly remarkable, that I noticed around October through December of 2017, where I was still sort of practicing this discipline, my first few months of it, and learning to actually manage my energy, because my first attempts at it, it's not as if I simply did it and I just simply became like a no-fap man right off the bat. It has been a truly life-changing, wonderful thing that I discovered and that had come into my life. And so here are the most significant compressed benefits that I noticed when I first began practicing NoFap. The first thing I want to bring to light is greater alertness. And the language I've used in the past is that it gave me greater energy, but I think a more accurate term is just like awareness and alertness in life in general. I recently gave this example on my Hindi channel as well, but despite my lifelong love for making myself as strong as I could, as capable as I could, I actually didn't realize that I was operating from a lower level of alertness, consciousness, awareness in life. It's as if my life before taking this discipline on, I was going like this. Just like, oh yeah, oh that's cool. I didn't realize that I was just a little dull behind the eyes and just not as engaged in the world as I could be. And when I first, honestly, by the time I hit 10 or 11 days of practicing NoFap, it's as if I went from here to here. Just like I really cared, and I couldn't help but just be hyper aware of the world. And oftentimes, people make statements on my channel that my eyes, they get way too wide open. Like I look like a psycho and I'm constantly like busting my eyes open. I get it. Like I see that when I watch the video back and I think to myself, damn, I look fucking crazy. It just is a nature of who I am now, in which I have this engaged alertness that I carry with me. And doing this for the first time, like that alertness was incredibly high, and I just like went about life with just more awareness. This caused me to do things like clean my room more readily. Like if I have too much time on my hands, if I have too much of a gap, they say idleness is the devil's workshop. I had too much idleness, I had to engage it in some way. And so as a result of it, that awareness, that clarity actually allowed me to take on more changes in my life, or more momentum, more movement in the direction of the things that I wanted. And when you have more alertness, more awareness, everything opens up to you. It's as if you're switching into seeing the world in HD for the first time, or color for the first time. It affects the decisions you make just to be hyper aware to existence itself. The second benefit that I noticed that ties in really closely to the first, all 3 of these benefits tie in very well with each other, but want. My level of want, my level of desire in general increased so much. That obviously makes a ton of sense, because biologically speaking, what is the most desirous aspect of our nature? It's this expression of this energy. And when you can't express it through one channel, the channel that you're used to, the physical manifestation of it, then it has to be expressed in other ways. I became obsessed with like reaching out to my friends, my buddies, and just doing things more. Because I didn't have this channel, this expression, I just had to do in other ways. And I remember I would just reach out to my buddies. If you wanted to go see a movie, I was down to do that. Friends that I hadn't connected with in a long time, I was so ready to go hang out with those friends and go connect with them. Like I just had so much more desire to get out there and engage. There was a tremendous sense of just, oh my God, I have a lust for the world. I have a lust for life, and I want to go out there and do things with it. At the time that I found this discipline, I had just left my job as a teacher, and I knew I wanted something new to open up in my life, some new opportunities to come my way, but I had no sense of how to proceed. But a great strategy for when you're feeling listless is to just make that list and to start just doing anything. Do anything, get out there engage with the world, wrestle with the juices of life, and swallow them up, when you can just get out there and try and get punched in the face, what Gary Vaynerchuk might call eating shit, just because you have to try, effort, and fail to get anything going, to get the ball rolling in any direction. I finally had the inherent want within myself to be able to face those challenges, face those obstructions, the chaos of the world, the inefficiencies of life. It didn't bother me as much. I was just so hungry to do something with this energy that I went out there and I just tried stuff. I did a local play, even though before this, I might have thought that that would have been beneath me. I wanted to be a film and TV actor at that point. To go back to theater, it would have been a lesser thing. But then I thought, no, I'll just do the damn theater. I don't care. If a friend said, hey, there's a networking event, I'll go to the networking event. I was willing to do anything. It was that mindset of like the 10x rule. I was willing to take 10 times as many actions, and it didn't come out of a sense of like disciplining myself for it, or like saying, oh, I should do this. This is the best course of action for me. It was more like, I will do anything. I'm a psycho right now. I'll do anything to engage with the world. And that was a really powerful benefit to experience, especially in those months of uncertainty. I drowned out that uncertainty with desire, want, and activity. The third benefit that I noticed when I did this discipline for the first time, that 30-day mark of NoFap, was that I was able to introduce myself to people at social settings far more readily. Hey, how's it going? The name's Pandey, Nick Pandey. Hi, it's a pleasure to meet you. I've heard a lot of great things about you. Anything you need, you let me know. Anything. Oh my gosh. Now, that's kind of a strangely specific thing to say, but it ties in so closely to this idea that when you're full of want, you become courageous. Courage comes from desire. This is an awareness that I'm beginning to have about life. It's that people who are successful, they have the same fears and insecurities that we all have. I have a tremendous insecurity still. Even after putting out 100 videos on YouTube, I still have an insecurity about hitting the record button and saying what's within me. It's a terrifying notion every single time. But one thing that I've begun to realize on this journey is that desire can create tremendous courage. While I've always had an ability to engage with other people and never let my social anxiety stop me from kind of going out there, I was oddly bad at introducing myself to other people at like parties or gatherings, gala events, at my workplace. I always had the sense of like, I don't know, I just don't know how to engage with this other person. And when I got in this for the first time, I think there was also a sense of just having an inherent love for myself at a really deep level, feeling a sense of purity, nobility, potency within myself, that I didn't feel any shame about who I was. I felt a tremendous comfort, pride, and love for myself. And that translated into social settings. When I was introduced to other people at parties, I introduced myself with great vigor back to them. In fact, one of the best ways to motivate yourself while you're on this journey, once you've built up a streak of at least a couple weeks, go to a party and just notice how people see you. Albeit you have to have been doing the surrounding disciplines like cold showers, meditation, working out, working on yourself in other ways just besides this discipline, because it's not just the practice of NoFap, it's the transmutative efforts that go alongside this that really give these powers, these potencies within you. But if you've been doing all that for a couple of weeks, go to a party and just see how the room responds to you. The response of that room will be unlike anything you'd been experiencing in your life before. You will no longer be that invisible person. If that's something that you've struggled with, I certainly have, where I sort of like blended into the room and like found myself standing in the corner of a room wondering how I could be not on the sidelines anymore. I was voraciously not in the sidelines anymore. If there was someone who wanted to introduce themselves, or if someone I felt could be interesting, I would go out there and just really introduce myself. And even though I still carried some of those same anxieties, it was like, yo, the anxieties cannot compete with what I want to share with other people. There are two amazing verses from the Hindu scriptures that to me really signify the realness of this. The first is the phrase Brahmacharya Pratishtayam Virilabh. By the practice of Brahmacharya, power is attained. And the other one is this phrase Ayus Teju Balam Viryam. By the practice of this potency, by the practice of this discipline, a person gains Ayu, long life, Teju, brilliance, Balam, which is physical strength, and Viryam, which is like vigor or manliness. And the truth of these verses I felt in those 30 days. Now, some could argue that it's placebo effect, that this is all anecdotal, and I will admit I can't can't provide too much scientific evidence about why this works, but I have felt the truth of these verses and I carry them with me. Doing this practice has given me just extra energy, vigor, and courage to go after the things that I really care about. And that's why I continue to believe in it and make occasional videos about it. Because any man who's open-minded enough to consider this topic with any seriousness, everyone deserves to have a chance to activate the best within them. And especially that which is unique to them, that which no one else can do. Your own special gift, your own concoction of talents that no one else can emulate in that exact formula. To ignite that in the best way possible, this is a great place to start. And so, for those of us who are willing to engage with this discipline, to us I say, greatness is coming. Thanks for watching as always, guys, and I will see you next time. Cheers.